Hello, everyone.
Mm.
Welcome to one more episode of a live interview with different professionals around the world, from advertising and from different countries. And want to remind everyone that this is an initiative from Lisbon Awards Group. I'm Rita Cunha, and we are transmitting live to our Facebook pages of the Lisbon Health, Ed, Effectiveness in Tech, and also the Lisbon Awards Group page. Our submissions are still open. They end only at the end of June, so feel free to submit your projects. Today, our guest, I want to start by introducing him. He's Cristiano Pinheiro. He's the founder and creative director from Punch Audio. He's talking to us directly from Brazil. First of all, thank you so much, Chris. Welcome, Cristiano. Welcome to our interview, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me. You can call me Chris. It says Cristiano, but everybody calls me Chris. It's easier,
Perfect.
even further. But thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Great. I want to start by asking, it's kind of a mandatory question. How is the whole situation there in Brazil and with the COVID and everything else that is going on? How are you all coping and dealing with all of it?
Right. Here in Brazil, we started the quarantine around March 17th, I think, and it's pretty much the same from that point until now. Nobody's allowed to work from whatever they work, except the essential what they call essential services, which are drugstores and supermarkets and that kind of stuff. So everybody's working from home, and right now in São Paulo, here, the state of São Paulo, they devised this plan, which is a four-part plan. So you have the first part, you cannot open your business, and then when you go to level 2, some businesses can be open. Level 3, more business, and then what they do is they're gonna check all the data, and based on the data, they're gonna let you open your business or not. So right now we're in level 2. We started opening some non-essential businesses, but that's it. We still have a lot of death in Brazil, and it's the situation's not good. So we're still trying to improve.
Yeah, that has been a hard time for everyone, but we have to adapt and try to find new ways to live with it. And
Sure.
regarding the agency itself, how have you been adapting your work? How did you find it challenging to send the whole team home and work from home? How did you manage all of it?
Yeah. Well, for us, for any audio house or any music house, sorry, for any music house, I guess there's two aspects, right? So there's the technical aspect, and then there's the market, how the market is working, right? How the brands are behaving. So from the technical standpoint, for the audio people, it's not that hard because we've been collaborating for some time now. For example, we use a lot of partners in Europe and in America. When I say partners, I say musicians and VO artists. So everybody, today everybody has some kind of equipment at home that can record their instrument or their voice. So it's not a big problem. It's not a big problem to be at home. So everybody, we are only 12 people at Punch Audio, but everybody's at home and they're doing their stuff because it's all on the computer. So it hasn't changed that much. Of course, when all the 12 people are together, it works so much better, right? Because every company is like that. It's kind of strange to go on Zoom meetings and talking to everybody. It's kind of strange, right? But from the technical standpoint, it's not that hard. We've been um, we're not having so much problems with that. So that's okay, right? But what happened in March when Corona, when the isolation started here in Brazil, everybody was curious and worried about what the brands were going to, how the brands were going to react to that, right? So I think on the first couple of weeks, the brands were still figuring out, what to do. Also, should we wait? Should we spend money right now?
Yeah.
So I think what happened here in Brazil and for us at Punch Audio, but I guess for everybody, was that work. Um, it was not so. The volume of work was lowered a little bit, so we weren't working that much, and after a couple of weeks, then they started looking for these alternative um, ways of creating work, right?
Yeah.
So they prohibited shootings here in São Paulo. So you
Hmm.
could not go
Yeah.
into a shooting, to a regular shooting with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So what they did, they started basically what everybody was doing, which was using stock footage, stock images,
Hmm.
or animation, or something, any ways that you could
Really?
do a film, do a spot without a regular shooting, right? So, to my surprise, to tell you the truth, I thought we were not gonna do anything for like a month. We're not gonna work. We're not gonna work at all. But we kind of did some stuff. We're working probably 30%, 40% of what we usually had, but it's good for me because I thought it was gonna be like 5%, 10%. So we're working like 40, maybe 50%.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, what can you expect? It's a difficult situation. So that's what we've been up to. But
Yeah.
we're working. We're kind of working.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think everyone at first was kind of trying to figure it out, like what is going to happen now. Are brands still going to communicate? How are they going to communicate? So it was definitely that period of adjustment and people trying to figure it out. But then they started realizing that they could communicate, and it was important because where we initially thought that maybe okay we'll stay home for like 2 weeks and then everything will go back to normal, but it turned out it was much longer than what we expected. So what
Yeah.
how do you, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry. Go on, go on.
no, no, tell
No,
me,
go on, go on. No,
um
what I say. I think for me, like most of the brands were in that situation that they were creating new spots based on coronavirus, right? So they were talking about coronavirus. So it was uh, basically a lot of similar messages like stay at
mhm,
home and watch yourself and stay with your family and everything. And now we're starting to see some other messages not related to corona, which I guess it's the normal way, the natural way to do, because they can stay forever with the
yeah.
coronavirus messages, right? But I guess that's it. That's it. We're starting to go beyond the stay at home messages.
Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to ask you, is that in the beginning a lot of the brands community communicated the same with the everything will be okay and stay safe, stay home, and now they are trying to go back to a little bit of communicating their brand, their actual brand. So how do you think that they could communicate and reach people during this time, and what can they do right now? What do you
Yeah,
think?
because the thing is, in my opinion, right?
No.
It's very difficult. Yeah, of course, it's very difficult for a brand to react to that, because it's a big responsibility. So
Yeah.
imagine that when all of this started, people from marketing, or I don't know, from the company, but from marketing specifically, they were probably very afraid of well, what kind of messages should we put on? What should we do? So I guess the natural response is the stay at home
Yeah.
kind of spot, right? And it's okay because basically it's what every a brand could do without doing mistakes, right? It's like a safe area. You can do that message, and it will be okay. And it's a good message. Everybody needed that, or at least needed that at the time. So it was okay. One thing I think, like I wrote a piece, a small piece for London International Festival. They asked me to write something for their newsletter, and once the subject that I was thinking of that I wrote for this piece was that sometimes limitations are a good fuel for creativity, right? So um, maybe sometimes crisis and adverse situations could be used to create original work, right? And so that's what I think. I think like the first couple of weeks of coronavirus, maybe the first month, I've seen a lot of similar stuff. A lot of it was not that creative, but anyways, it's what we're talking about. It's like a reaction. It was a natural reaction, so it's okay. It's not like a big creative spot or whatever. But then after in the second month, I started seeing really good stuff. Like funny stuff and very original stuff.
Yeah.
So I really believe that when you're going through some big limitations, some big obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
instead of working against you, I think they work for you. So I think a lot of creative people are using that, to create good work, to create original work. For example, I cannot say about audio the same thing about audio because it's what I explained to you. For audio, it doesn't change that much. So we're still working pretty much the same way we were before
Yeah.
Corona. But for the creatives at the agencies, it's a big obstacle, right? So and of course for the brands also. So I'm beginning to see a lot of very original work right now. So that's my point. I think sometimes it could be used for creativity. The limitations can also be used for creativity. So right now I'm starting to see some different messages.
Yeah, that's great that people were able to take some good out of this whole thing
Yeah,
that has been that good. So, but and
yeah.
do you think that, like you said, that it creates more opportunities? But do you think it can also limit your creativity in the sense that I don't know where you get your inspiration, but a lot of people get it from traveling or going outside and looking at other things, and now you're just experiencing everything through a computer. Do you think that creativity can be more challenging when it comes to that, being just at home? Or do you think, like you said, that it's a great opportunity for more creative people?
Well, the thing is, we have to agree that it's a worse situation than before, right? So it's not a perfect
Oh,
situation. So yeah, what I tried to say is that when you're inside those adverse situations, you could try to use the limitations, right? But I agree with you. It's not a. I think it depends personally. Each people draws creativity from anywhere. I mean, each person has their own inspirations, right? But I
mhm.
do agree that being at home, it's not a good thing, right? Most of us like to be out in the streets and visiting people, visiting places, traveling. So I do agree that being at home, especially for like 2 months or 3 months, it's not good at all. I mean, the
Yeah.
first couple of weeks you're trying to adapt yourself and everything, but after a couple of months, at least for me, I sometimes, get tired. I can't stand being at home. I need to go out, and that's me, right? But I mean, I guess most of the people are like that too. But
Hmm.
anyways, I think it's each person has their own kind of. They draw inspiration from different places, but I do agree that being at home, it's a bigger obstacle. It's even worse, right? But anyways, I still think that people can use those limitations to try to come up with original stuff, right? But I agree, it's not the best situation. It would be better for creativity. It would be better to be, you know, traveling and doing whatever we like to do.
Yeah, exactly. But and like you said, it really that those limitations. A lot of people came out with great ideas that a lot of people even didn't think that they were able to get a great idea or be creative. And during this time, people really had to adjust and spend so much time at home that they were able to find new ways to spend their time and get really creative. We've seen great things throughout these couple of months.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Imagine you're a creative and someone tells you and someone briefs you, okay, we have to do something. We have to create for this brand that we represent. We have to create something. We have to create a story, but you have all these limitations right now. So we can talk about that, but we cannot talk about that. We have to talk about that in this way. So it's a lot of limitations, right? So I mean, this guy has to do something to to be different, right? Because of course he has friends in all the agency, and then he knows that it's the same brief. So he's thinking to himself, how can I create something that is different with all those limitations? So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I agree, it's hard, but there's hope. There's hope. So you can also create good stuff. You know, we
Yeah.
did. If you allow me to say, we ended up partnering with an agency here in Brazil, the Almap BBDO.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And they did something which was interesting. I don't know if it's been done. It's probably been done because I don't know. It's one of the few ways that you can shoot. What they did is they took the deep DOP, and the DOP shot the spot with his wife at home, and it ended up being really beautiful because he's a DOP, right? So he knows his house and everything, and it was a beautiful film for WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an alternative way of
Mhm.
seeing this situation, right? So
Yeah.
they say, oh, since everybody has to stay at home, who can we think of that can take a camera and shoot for us? The DOP, right, or the director? But in this case, the DOP, he was married to a girl that looked good on camera, and they shot this beautiful spot. It's called Sunbeams. It's beautiful. It's about the essential things of life when you're at home, with the simple things at life in life, you know. So it's this girl, she's at home and she starts seeing the sunbeams going through the window, and then she moves through the house to see the sunbeams differently. I mean, it's a subtle but beautiful film, beautiful spot.
Yeah, that's great that people figure different things out and it turned out really good. So that is amazing. Uh, Also, I want to talk to you about this has been a particular year for festivals and award shows because a lot of them had to be postponed or canceled. Ours continues to continue, and I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to you to be a jury member in our festival, and also how do you feel like it's important for for agencies and brands to submit their projects to festivals like this? Do you think they are important?
Yeah, the thing is, it's it's really important, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion. um, a lot of the creatives and the agencies, not only the agencies, but also the creatives, they use the festivals to promote their work. It's basically what it is. So winning awards, you know, being awarded is very important. First, because you get to be seen by more people. That's
Mhm.
what it is. More people know your work, and when a lot of people like your work, it's even better, right? So
Mhm.
basically, that's what it is. So for agencies and for creatives, they're kind of building their curriculum. It's something like that, you know. It's almost like that. So it's very very important to have festivals like Lisbon and all the other festivals also. And I think for Lisbon is basically the best festival in Portugal, which is great because it's you know, it's a big country with big brands that put their money in advertising. So it's great to have Lisbon as the major representative of the creative community in Portugal, and not only in Portugal, of course, because you're when you participate in a festival like Lisbon, you get to be seen all over the world, because all over the world there's people submitting work, right? So yeah, it's an honor to be part of this festival. Like it's honor, especially because I'm Portuguese. I'm a Portuguese speaker, right? I'm from Brazil. Even though we're speaking English here, we both speak Portuguese, right?
Yeah,
But so yeah, it's very important to be part of a Portuguese speaking festival also.
yeah.
It's an extra for me, you know. It's very important for me also.
Yeah, that is great. Exactly. And also, another thing I wanted to ask you, a lot of, even before the pandemic, the digital has had been growing for a while, and digital channels, and now even more with the pandemic, everything is through a computer and online. Do you think even after the pandemic, this will continue to be as strong as it is now, or do you think that people miss the traditional, more traditional channels, and those will get back a little bit as well?
No, I don't think they miss it for sure. Because the thing is, if you think about it, for example, my kids are 8, 5, and 2, right? So you see that it's not natural for them to pick up a remote control and you know, have all these programs with their right time. You know, oh, on 3 o'clock it starts that cartoon. It's not natural for them. You know, the natural thing for them is to get this um, cell phone or, you know, a tablet, and then choose whatever they want to choose, right?
Mhm.
And so I don't think they're going to miss it. I think it's a process that started maybe, I don't know, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's going to get even more towards digital. That's what I think. What probably what's going to change is the new apps, the new, you know, the new programs, new ways of seeing content, right? So
Mhm.
right now we have a couple of apps that are really strong, and all the brands that we're working for example, like Punch Audio, all the brands that we're working for, everything, every spot, every film that we do, they're doing versions for a couple of apps. Every so and if you think about it, like 5 years ago, it was mainly regular TV, and
Mhm.
sometimes they would do a version for one digital,
Yeah.
you know, medium,
Mhm.
but and that was it, right? But right now, I see even brands that they're not using the regular TV at all. They
Yeah.
go straight to digital. So there's no way of avoiding that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more and more like that. So regular TV, I don't know when, but it's gonna this the way that regular TV works, the way that advertising works with regular TV, it's gonna end for sure. I don't know when, but it's gonna end. So for basically, for example, each country has their own processes and how they relate to regular TV. Sometimes big companies have power that they can hold a little bit more for more time, but
Mhm.
here in Brazil, it's starting to go away. People more and more are going to only digital. So I think that's what brands are doing, because so many people are using digital that it's not the media. It was too expensive, and now it's not that expensive. It's still expensive, but so especially smaller brands, they skip regular TV. They go straight to digital. So it's a process that's going to
Mhm.
someday regular TV. It's not going to be there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how much everything changes so fast.
For
But
sure.
um, we don't have much time left, but I wanted to ask you a few more questions. Uh, One thing is that how important for you is audio and music in advertisement? Like you, when you see an ad, you really capture everything from it, but the music really makes a difference, right? What how important and do you think that music is?
I think well, I think the thing is, excuse me, the thing is, it could be very important. Let's be honest here. Sometimes the creative writes a script that audio is not that important, right?
Mhm.
But for all the other scripts that audio could be very important, it can make a difference. I'll give you an example to try to illustrate, right? So let's say you have a spot that a script that they wrote that this guy is inside walking inside his house, and then you start to listen to a very sad music. That in your head, it's gonna take you somewhere, right? So you're gonna say, oh, it's probably something sad. Is he's probably gonna say
Yeah.
tell a story about a guy who is sick or whatever. You said something sad is gonna happen, right? Let's say you see the same situation, the same images, but right now with this upbeat, happy song, right? And you're gonna say, "Whoa, yeah, the message here is gonna be something different. He's gonna try to sell me insurance or whatever." So that's how important audio is. For sound design, is the same thing. It helps you tell the story. That's what it does. It complements the image. So when you do use audio, either sound design or music, in a way that can complement the image, when you use it well, it's very powerful. Because even if you have, for example, sad, uh, sad, if you have sad images, sad whatever, sad things happening on this story, a sad song could amplify even more. So
Mhm.
you're feeling you're more sad than ever with this song. You want to kill yourself, whatever. So that's what it does. It helps you tell the story.
Yeah.
That's why I think audio is very important. The only difference between advertising and feature films is that in advertising you have less time to tell the story, right? So if you wanna tell the story and you wanna use audio to make people happy, you have to do it in 30 seconds, in 15 seconds. You have to be really fast. In
Yeah.
feature films, you can build everything up. You can do. Oh, I have 2 minutes to make this guy cry. So
Yeah.
in advertising, you cannot do that. You have to do it in 10 seconds. You kind of create mechanisms in audio to do that. That's what we learn when we're doing for so much time.
Yeah.
So that's it. It helps you tell the story. It's very important.
Yeah, exactly. I can totally see that uh, your feelings really amplify when you hear that song that makes you feel something. Um, just one last question because we don't have much time left, but I wanted to ask you to leave a message of hope. What would you like to say to not only the advertising world, but everyone watching and all around the world? What is your message of hope during this time?
Well, the thing, what I think is, there's a big, for example, there was a big struggle between health and business. That's basically what I'm reading a lot this last couple of months, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's unfair to try to do this struggle between health and business. Both are really important,
Yeah.
and I think everybody personally can contribute with responsibility. That's what it is. If you can be responsible, other people will follow. That's what I think it is. So be responsible. If I can say a message to everyone, is be responsible. Do your part. That's what I think it's really important. Do not worry so much about other people posting things on internet or whatever, fighting people on Instagram or whatever. Be responsible. Do your part, and I think it helps a lot. Other people will follow. So I think basically that's what it is. We're living through this unique situation. I don't think anybody has ever experienced something like that. So let's be cautious, which is very important, and be responsible. And hopefully everything will go back to normal. And I think it's not going to be the old normal. It's going to be the new normal, right? I think this has changed us in so many ways that when we go back to normal, it's going to be a little bit different and hopefully for the better. And I think it's going to be for the better because we have learned and are still learning a lot of stuff that we can carry to our lives, So the new normal is going to be better than the old normal, I hope.
Yeah, let's hope so. It's definitely been a time to reflect and think, and we had a chance to realize that we can still make a difference in a lot of things in our world. So let's hope everyone takes something good out of it, and we can really make some changes for the better.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much again for accepting to talk to us. I want to remind everyone that our submissions are still open, so make sure you submit your projects. We will be back tomorrow with one more interview, so make sure you tune in as well. Stay tuned to our social media and everything where we post all our information. Thank you again so much for doing this. I hope everything works out and everything stays better. Yeah,
It
doing this.
will. It will. It will for sure. Thank you, Rita, for this amazing opportunity, and thank you, Lisbon Awards Group. It's been great. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Ciao.